Hey kiddos, my name is Garrett Venners. I'm a captain with Missoula Fire Department.
My name is Casey Scott. I'm a senior firefighter with Missoula Fire Department.
And I'm Firefighter Malcolm Edwards.
We work for the city of Missoula, and we are working at Station 5, which is 6501 Lower Miller Creek Road. Okay, it's really important to know your address in case there's a fire at your house.
All right, kids, we're gonna give you a little station tour and head on through to our fire engine. Come on in. Go on now.
Now we're inside the MFD Control Room right here. We have a couple computers, and then we've also got our radio right here to listen to dispatches. Computers are for the reports. Once we come back from fire calls and medical calls, we do report on the medical call or the fire call. And we also have a laptop computer here, and as you can see on the computer right here, it tells us all the apparatus available and if there aren't any calls and who's in charge. And that's about it for our control room.
Daily living at MFD, we have our day room here. This is where we kind of decompress after calls. This is where we cook. This is where we do all our cooking together as a group. And then we have our dinners and stuff like that here as well. And we also have a lot of cool pictures on the wall here of old MFD firemen from 100 years ago. And these are our horses Prince and Prance. And we don't have those anymore, of course, because we have fire engines now. And then this picture on the wall, this is a picture of downtown, one of the buildings on fire downtown Missoula on Higgins Street. So you might be asking kids, how do we know if we have a call? Okay, a call coming in, EMS call, fire call, or a car accident. Well, we have these monitors at the station, and they have the calls on them. So right now, engine 141, which is engine 4, is on a medical aid call at this address. And engine 2 is en route to this call at that address. And we leave from here and we go out to the fire engine. So that's what we're gonna do now. All right. This is one of my favorite pictures right here because it shows the horses in the background, and it also shows the fire engines in transition where we went from horses to the fire engine. So out here, this is our engine bay. This is where we hold all of our apparatus. And I'm gonna have Malcolm and Casey run you guys through an engine tour for the kids. And you kids should like this because our engines are awesome. They do all kinds of cool things. They have a lot of moving parts on them and inside of them. And anyways, I'm gonna have Malcolm take over for the engine tour and give it a go.
So you guys have probably heard fire engines and fire trucks. There's a big difference. What we have here is our fire engine. So you guys might call this a fire truck, but a fire truck, what we call, for us, it's very important. There's two differences. The fire truck is what you see has a big ladder. Sometimes you see like has a tiller man in the back. The fire truck has a big long ladder. This engine, we have small ladders. Fire, we want to be protecting all of our skin. Fire and smoke are really bad. Burns you, right? So when we come to your house, we're in our full firefighter turnouts. That's just to protect us. We'll have an air tank on our back so we can breathe clean air, okay? So Firefighter Casey is going to show you what we'll look like when we come to your house. We don't want you guys to run away from us. We want you to come towards us. We'll be calling out, firefighter here, like trying to find you. So you let us know that we're there. We're there to help you, okay? So Firefighter Casey may look scary, but he's not, okay? His job is to cover all of his skin. So when he's done with all this, we want you guys to see if you can see any skin, okay?
What's he putting on there?
So right now he's got all of his turnouts on, so he's covering all of his skin. It's really thick. What he's putting on now is his face mask, okay? So he's breathing clean air. You can see he's got a big tank of clean air, okay? The smoke is really bad. It's toxic. It's poison. We don't want to breathe that poison, so we got this clean air on our back. So now he's putting his gloves on, okay? So if there is smoke in your house, what you guys want to do is you want to get really low. So Casey will show it to you once he's done. So smoke rises, right? Smoke is poison. We don't want to breathe that poison. We want to get really low because really low is where the clean air is, right? So if we want to get out of our house, we're going to get down low where the clean air is and we're going to crawl outside, okay? So like we said, we wanted Casey to cover all his skin. You guys, you see any skin? Nope. You have no skin. He's covering all of it. So Casey's crawling right now, okay? So if we were to show up at your house, we'd be doing the same thing, looking for you, okay? So we don't want you to be scared. We want you to call out, you know, help, help, help. Casey, you've been calling out too. You want to call out, Casey?
Anybody in here? Call out. Anybody in here?
So firefighter Casey's calling out. He's looking out. He's looking for anybody that might be inside, whether it be you or your pet, okay? So we want you to call out. We want you to come towards us, okay? All right, thanks, Casey. Now we're going to take a look at the engine if you want to follow me. So this is the fire engine, like we said. There's 3 of us that work on it. Captain Venners, he sits right here in the front seat. This is the captain, so he's in charge of everything. He tells us what to do. He talks on the radio, talks to 911. He's got a computer up here that'll show where we're going. He can tell us where to go on the map.
My name's Garrett. I'm the captain today, and this is where I sit when we respond to calls. And I have my monitor right here. It can come out, and this tells me where to go and what kind of call we're going on, either a fire or medical aid or car accident. So that's kind of handy. And it also has a map on here, and it tells us where to go if we need it, and it has hydrants on there to tell us where to get the water from. I have all my gear up here, and I have my headsets right here too. So we all always put on our headsets so we can hear each other talk over the siren and the horn. It's kind of a small space up in these compartments, but we have our gear, we have our helmet, we have our mask, we have our boots, and that's all we need. And then in my seat right here, I don't know if you can see it, but we have our air tanks. So I can put that on when I get in my seat. I can put it on. So anyway, that's it.
I'm the firefighter today, so I sit back here. So if there's a fire, Captain Venners and myself will grab the hose and the nozzle and we'll go inside. Okay. So my job is, I'm the tailboarder, so I sit in the back here. So when there's a fire, Captain Venners and I will get out and we'll go fight the fire. My job is to grab the nozzle and go in and fight the fire. When we're going to the call, we have our air bottles here in the back. So while we're going en route to the call, we can put it on. And we're all ready to go, fight the fire. Then firefighter Casey is the driver today, so he's the engineer. He sits over here.
Again, I'm the engineer today on the fire engine.
Casey's
So
job is
my job here is basically to get the guys to where they need to go for the emergency. So first thing we do is a dispatch comes across, we figure out where we're going, what the emergency is, and from there we head out the bay doors. So as you can see right here, I got tons of different buttons. I got buttons down here for lights. I got my sirens. You can hear those real quick. Windshield wipers, big steering wheel, drive around. I got my pump shift lever right here. I push that down, go outside, pull another level, and right there you get water.
second main job is to pump water to us. So when we show up to a fire, we're gonna pull our hose off, we're gonna go inside their hose. Casey's job is to run the pump panel, so he knows this in and out. Just the main features are just water in, water out, okay? It may look confusing, but Casey's a master on it. Right here is called the engineer's compartment. It's just got the hose that gets the water from the hydrant to the engine, and as well as the tools that you may need for that. Right here are our tools that we'll use on the scene. The main two tools that we use are the Halligan and the flat-headed axe. These are what we call the keys to the city. These will get us into any building that we want to get into in the whole city. This right here is what we call just our firefighter's axe. You guys probably know this pretty well, you probably associate with firefighters. We use this a lot for fires. So the fire engine is what we like to say is just a big toolbox, okay? So we have a bunch of tools that we'll need for all the calls that we may go on, okay? So here we have a big fan. This is usually just to pump smoke out of the house because smoke's poison, right? No one wants to breathe it. So we'll set this up at the front door and it'll blow air into the house and it forces all that smoke out of the house. We have lights, we have fire extinguishers, we have tarps to carry out a lot of the burnt stuff that might catch fire inside your house. We got to take that outside. So in the back here, we're talking about the hoses that we bring into the house. Our hoses, we fight the fire. We bring hoses into the fire into the house to fight the fire. We have little hoses and we have big hoses. We usually grab this little hose to fight fire to come into a house. We have bigger hoses here. This is to get water from the fire hydrant to our fire engine. So we have some of the calls we go on our car accidents, right? So sometimes when cars are really mangled together, we have captive vendors that goes our jaws of life.
Okay, kids. All right, in here, this is our jaws of life and our spreaders, cutters, and ram. All right, so this is the jaws of life. Okay, to turn them on, we have a little button on top. It shows up blue if they're on and the batteries are good. All right, I know it's ready to work. Okay, I spread them open like that. And that's how I would open a car door. So, for example, if this ambulance was in a car accident, I'd come over here, put the jaws inside the door, right in that little crease right there, and I'd open it up, and this door would pop open, just like that. Okay? These tools are very important to have for us. It saves time, which saves lives. Okay? Along with the spreaders, we have the cutters. And these things are great too. So you push the button, they have a little light on them, see if they work, and these will cut almost anything. Okay? So, for example, going back to the ambulance here, if we need to take off this cab and get people out of the vehicle because they're trapped in and this door is compromised, then I could cut this post real quick here. Let's show you real quick. I can cut this post right here with these spreaders. So I'd stick this up here and cut that post, and it would cut right through it. So these are our spreaders, and these are our cutters, and then we have one more tool back here, that's a ram, and it just spreads the car apart even further. And just to give you a little example of these things, this spreader will lift this fire engine off the ground. That's how strong they are. So pretty cool tools. All right, Malcolm, that's all I got. Well done.
So continuing with our tour, we have more fire extinguishers. We call this the water can. It's just a little bit of water put inside and puts out a lot of fire. We have a chainsaw if we need to cut into a roof. Sometimes we gotta cut the roof open to allow the hot smoke and gas to get out of the house so we can go safely inside and put the fire out. So what do we have in our city that runs right through the middle of the city? Right? It's a river. So in the wintertime, the water's really cold. So we don't want to go in wearing just our clothes. So what we have is dry suits and PFD, so personal flotation devices. So if we want to go in the river, we can go in the river at any time of the year, no matter if it's icy or summertime. We can go in and we're wearing a dry suit and it protects our skin from the cold water. So a lot of people always ask what this is. This just hooks up to our exhaust. So when we start the exhaust is what? It's poison, it's like smoke. We don't want to breathe that poison, that smoke. So we start it up, this thing turns on, and it sucks all that smoke and gas out of the station so we don't have to breathe it. So this compartment is our medical aid compartment. So a large portion of our calls are medical aid, so we can go on people who are sick or hurt. So we have all the tools here that we need to help them. So right here is our Life Pack 15. This thing can monitor your heart, show us what your heart rate is and what your heart's doing. We can run an EKG, what you might find in a hospital. This you can also start your heart, so you know maybe like you see the paddles. It's not quite like that. It's a couple patches, but we can restart someone's heart with this right here. And then we have just a couple of our bags here that some have oxygen that we might administer to a patient, and then the other one has a lot of bleeding care supplies, so we can stop bleeding if someone's bleeding out. Of our engine here, we have 3 ladders. It wouldn't be a fire engine without some sort of ladders. When we show up on scene, sometimes we have to get really high to get to a fire or get on top of the roof to cut a hole, like I mentioned with the chainsaw. So if we want to access these ladders, we have a cool little button here that brings them down. Now, Captain Benners and I can grab this ladder off and we can go fight the fire.
All right, I'm going to show you the apparatus we have in Station 5 here. First one, this is a Type 6. It's a Wildland Rig. It's for wildland fires, for grass fires, forest fires. We get dispatched out on around Missoula and also around the state of Montana, and we also travel outside the state to help other jurisdictions. Now we're going to move to this rig. This is our Hazmat Break, and it's for hazardous material calls. So we have a joint team between Missoula City Fire and Missoula Rural Fire, and anytime there's a hazardous materials call, we dispatch. This is the tow rig right here. And if you pan over this way, there's actually a trailer right there too, and we tow that trailer as well, and that is our Hazmat Tow trailer. And that's got all of our gear inside of it to go to hazmat scenes. If you go over here, this is our ambulance. We use this ambulance for wildland fires and all medical calls when other ambulances aren't available. And that is Station 5's apparatus.
Now we're going to talk about smoke detectors. Smoke detectors save lives. Early activation, when you hear this thing in your house in the middle of the night when you're sleeping, is the only thing that's going to alert you to smoke in your house or fire in your house. Okay? So it's important to check your batteries and your smoke detectors. Okay? So most smoke detectors have a 9-volt battery right there, a little square battery that needs to be checked every year. So usually on your birthday, it's a good time to check your batteries. Okay? And what this does is it goes up on the ceiling in your house and it sniffs all day and night when you're sleeping. So it's like a big giant nose that sniffs for fire up on your ceiling, okay? And when it smells smoke, it's gonna go off and make a noise. Just like that. And when you hear that noise, you need to get down and go to your door slowly, crawl to your door, and you need to open up your door in your bedroom. Your door should always be shut when you're sleeping, okay? It's very important. That way the smoke doesn't come in at night. And then make sure you feel your door with your back of your hand. If it's not hot, you can open it up a little ways, check down there. If it's clear and there's no smoke, you can proceed outside your house and get outside to a meeting place, okay? Very important to check your batteries on your smoke detectors every year on your birthday. In closing, we'd like to thank you kids for being with us today. On behalf of Malcolm, Casey, and myself, we want you to have a good year and be safe and do not play with matches.